Sound of Money with Santosh Sirur.
Hello, Nilesh Bhai, and welcome to the 100th series of the Sound of Money podcast.
Heartiest congratulations, Santosh Bhai, on scoring a century, and all the very best for double and triple century.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sir, I know we are in a very different situation globally, geopolitics playing a big role. Having said that, my first question to you, sir, is India's growth prospects. We still have that really long runway ahead. How can the country actually sustain its momentum, do you think, in the coming years?
So one, Santosh Bhai, डॉन घायल है इसलिए घातक है. सेकंड, डॉन को समझना मुश्किल ही नहीं, नामुमकिन भी है. This is going to make geopolitical scenario fairly unpredictable. Oil is a Rahu Kal of Indian economic kundli. As oil prices go higher, our Rahu Kalam starts. And this time it is coming at a time when we were facing challenges in our market. RBI was short forward dollar by about 60-70 billion dollar. Rupee was weakening, and rising oil prices mean higher current account deficit, further pressure on rupee. While our inflation was low and well under control, the monetary policy was running off its course on rate cuts, and rates were becoming neutral. Now, higher oil prices means higher inflation. Certainly, RBI will have to think about raising rates, one from inflation point of view, second from support to rupee point of view. Our equity markets were witnessing FPI outflows. Higher oil prices means lower GDP growth, higher inflation, higher interest rates, weaker rupee, and hence lower corporate profit. Undoubtedly, their selling increased and pulled market further down. So there is no shortcut. There is no escape from the current situation. But astrologers say you can do puja for Rahu Kalam. The puja for Rahu Kalam for India is electrification of India. We converted our railway system from diesel to electric. Today, India has lesser number of diesel train than America. Courtesy that today goods movement in India is independent of oil import. Tomorrow, if there is no diesel import at all, our railways will continue to function. What we did with electrification of railway, we need to do with electrification of rest of India. The passenger vehicles have to move to electric and hybrid mode. The cooking has to move from gas to induction. Using this two combination, we will be able to reduce dependency on imported energy like crude oil. Of course, this will mean more power consumption, which means we have to push up thermal power, solar power, wind and hydro power, and also nuclear power. Yesterday, Prime Minister Modi announced India's launch of fast breeder reactor at Kalpakkam. We'll have to launch many more Kalpakkams without, protest from the ecosystem. These projects will have to be executed fast so that when the next time oil prices go higher, our economy is in a better shape.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you have mentioned about the Triveni Sangam, right? Talent, capital, and of course, infrastructure during India's growth phase. How can these factors, Nilesh Bhai, actually, take India on the next level? How do you see this from your lens?
So undoubtedly, those factors continue. But do remember that even the best batsmen on a bowling pitch will struggle to score century. on a betting pitch, Santosh Bhai, it is easy to score a century, score 1 run per ball. But when you are in bowling pitch, ball is swinging,
Yeah.
then you need to save the wicket.
Hmm.
So there will be slowdown in Indian growth because of current geopolitical situation,
Yeah.
where availability of energy as well as price of energy both is a
Hmm.
worry. And on top of it, we have 90 lakh Indians working in Middle East. Their safety is our priority. So there will be times when economic growth will slow down, markets will suffer because of the events. But as they say, when tough time comes, tough gets going. India has always delivered under pressure. It's easy to push reform when your back is to the wall rather
Hmm.
than when going is good. So the
Hmm.
Triveni Sangam of talent, capital, and infrastructure will continue to create long-term growth story of India. It will
Yeah.
allow India to bounce back faster than others when things get sorted out. But it doesn't mean that we'll continue to play as fluently on a bowling pitch as we were doing when there was a betting pitch.
True, true. So do you see India really needing some kind of a course correction when it comes to policy reforms, given the current situation? How crucial is it for India to achieve eventually that double digit growth?
So we don't think double-digit growth for India is possible in the current policy environment.
Hmm.
Land reforms, everyone wants that reform on someone else's land.
Yeah,
Well, you can't do that. Labor reform, it's protested. Farm reforms, agitation.
yeah,
Judicial reform, no buyer. Unless until India takes tough decisions on
hmm,
capital allocation at the government level
yeah,
and pushes reforms on land, labor, judiciary, I don't see India growing at double digit.
hmm,
We will be fastest growing major economy on the basis of work which we have done, which is
yeah,
building up of infrastructure, digitization, fiscal prudence. But that is good enough for mid single digit growth. World
hmm,
is good, monsoon is good, 7-8%. World is bad, monsoon is bad, 4-5%. That is our range. To
yeah,
grow to double digit, we need to take more hard reforms.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. But are you hopeful on the India consumption story with the GST reform, with the taxation, bit of a leeway there? Do you think there is some hope out there from the consumption standpoint, or the Mid East oil and natural gas problem will crop up here too, which we are seeing in a way?
Undoubtedly, it will crop up if Middle Eastern situation prolongs like Russia, Ukraine. There will be hit on remittance. $50 billion remittance come from Middle East. There will be pressure on jobs because availability of energy like gas is crippling MSME. There will be hit on jobs because global growth will slow down. Undoubtedly, there will be impact on consumption. The
Hmm,
whole call is that this is a speed breaker or a speed wall depending upon length and severity of crisis, but it is not insurmountable wall. If
hmm,
it's a short-term crisis, it's a speed breaker. We have to slow down our car, but with a little bump on the ground clearance, we will be able to move it. If it
okay.
is a longer term prolonged crisis, then it's a wall, but we'll have to surmount that wall through electrification.
Absolutely. One last question before I let you go, sir. Nilesh bhai, AI. Have you been using AI, and what's the AI vision that you see for India?
So undoubtedly, I have been using AI. I need to improve further. I need to become as smart in using AI as some of the younger generation. More than the Middle East crisis, AI is our bigger challenge. About 4 crore Indians directly or indirectly work in IT related industry across BPO, KPO, GCC, and IT services. Collectively, they earn $350 billion of FX revenue between remittance and exports. That $350 billion allows us to import oil, gold, and everything else. If for whatever reason that comes under stress, it's going to not only impact IT services, but also entire economy, because this 4 crore people are consumers. They are buying motor vehicles, they are buying flats, they are buying real estate, they are consuming, they are spending. The whole large portion of Indian economy will get impacted by slowdown in IT thanks to AI. What should be our game plan? One, we have created LLM like Servam. We need to scale it up and provide as an alternative to Chinese and Western or US model. Latin America, Africa, Southeast Asia, and Eastern Europe could be buyer of such product. Even Western Europe could be buyer of such product if there could be joint development. The Western Europe should remember when AstraZeneca's IP on COVID vaccine and serums manufacturing came together, we could save half of eligible humanity from COVID crisis. The same partnership can be done on AI with Servam. Second, we'll have to launch applications using LLMs like Servam or others. Today on voice AI, Maya 1, Luna, these are comparable to the best in the world. They are closest to the human voice. They have emotive appeal, emotive talk, and that could be used by the world. The third will be enterprise AI. We have seen AI creating hallucinations. We have seen AI being ineffective without appropriate data. How do we leverage data? How do we ensure that in enterprises data is stored properly, it is leveraged properly, AI is applied correctly, the outcomes are accessible to certain sets of hierarchy. More importantly, this is secured. Put together, enterprise AI could be as big an opportunity as artificial intelligence, as infrastructure services and software development. If we can capture this through LLM apps and enterprise AI, then I think AI will be beneficial to India.
Always a pleasure, Nilesh bhai, to talking to you. You have so much of great insights to share. And many, many thanks, sir, for being on this 100 series podcast.
Thank you, Santosh bhai. Wish you all the very best and keep scoring. You have a long way to go.